Hey there, back for video number 2, but this is really where we get into the meat of things. For those of you who haven't seen the first video, my name is Mark Tiffany. I'm the owner of Dynamic Core Studios, which is a training facility, stroke gym, and dcsfit.com online. And I'm just generally a fitness coach, personal trainer. I'm in the fitness industry. So the subject of this video is, should all gyms remain open even during lockdowns? Now, there's a lot more to this than I can possibly go into in one video, and I'm going to go into a lot more detail about the subject of lockdowns in general in one of the future videos. But you would probably expect me to say, as a gym owner and someone who believes that what we do is of value to people, that we should stay open. But I'm going to say that most businesses that interface with the public are going to say the same thing. Everyone will find an argument within their own bubble and in their own sphere that suits their agenda. And I'm a human being like everyone else, so I'm no different. However, upon reflection, no, I do not believe that gyms should stay open no matter what. Now, I want to touch on the hospitality sector to begin with, and I'll come back to gyms. Hospitality sector in the central belt of Scotland has been closed. They got to open after the first big lockdown, and then after, I think it was a few weeks, they were closed down again. Despite the fact they were given legislation to follow, they were given procedures to put in place, and for the most part, they followed them. They put in a lot of investment into making these things happen. They put in a lot of time and effort. They took a hit on their turnover by allowing fewer people to come into the building, but needing more personnel to be able to make sure they're taking names and addresses and contact details and all that for track and trace. They did all of these things, and yet they were closed down anyway. Now, is that fair? Or should we even be looking at fair because people's lives are at stake? Now, as I said, I'm going to come back to it in another video about the subject of, do lockdowns work, and how many lives are we saving with them? And I don't believe it's as many as people think. And there's way more to that based on information that is coming out that has actually been publicly available for months, but it's only coming out through the government now. But that's for another video. For now, the way I look at it is this. Restaurants have, I'll use them as an example, but restaurants have health and safety procedures to follow anyway. If they get an inspection and they are not meeting a level of cleanliness, they're going to be told to rectify it, or they're going to be closed down. If they're putting people in danger, they're going to be closed down, fined. Same thing with pubs, same thing with any business, to be honest, but particularly those ones where they're serving things for people to eat and drink. So, why is this any different? This is something whereby we're saying that people's lives are at stake here, people's health is at stake here. Therefore, you need to make sure as a business that you can operate in a way where you are maximizing the safety of your patrons. It's as simple as that. So, when there were some outbreaks and some cases in pubs and restaurants, and I'm not actually even sure that that was the case. I don't really remember anything big that's come from restaurants, but I know there were a few pubs. But in those situations, the pubs were not following procedure. So because a few pubs were not following procedure, they were all shut down. Now, where does that come from? I get at the start of the pandemic that there wasn't time to start thinking about all the individual businesses, but they had months. Now, this was something I wrote to the Scottish Government about at the start of April, to say to them, I understand what you had to do. You had to act quickly when it came to the shutting down. But what I would request is that when you look to reopen, my suggestion is that you look to do it in stages, in tiers, which is what they did. And you do so on the basis that each tier has to meet certain criteria in order to be able to open. And if you're physically incapable of meeting that criteria, then you can't open. And when it gets easier and easier and easier, then you can. So in other words, it might be that when you're first open, can you keep people 10 metres apart or something? What is the airspace of the building and round about you to look at the aerosol effects? Those kind of things. Are you serving food, and drink where somebody's going to handle it and it's now going to go to someone's mouth? Are you in direct contact with your clients, like massage therapists and physios and those kind of things? Looking at all those factors and then deciding on tiers. And that wasn't done. It was done on a sector-wide basis. But that means to say that anyone within a sector who could be innovative and come up with some way of making it work for them, maybe not wholly, but they could do something, would be allowed to open again. Now, for our sake, we've done that as best we possibly can, and we're continuing to do it. We're not going with how many people can we keep cramming in here, no matter what the regulations say. We are allowed to have members flowing in and out of this facility, and we're not doing it. We're making sure that we're allowing 4 or 5 people at a time, at the most. Sometimes it's 1 or 2, and we're keeping them very, very segregated. If you can see it in here, sort of over there, behind that yellow and black chain, that is a zone for 1 person. Where I'm standing is a zone for 1 person. That's how much space we're giving people. Now, we've been told by trading standards that is way above and beyond what we need to do, but we're doing it anyway. Is it the most financially beneficial to us? Absolutely not. But we do not want to be in a position where we are putting anyone's health in danger. Can I say that about other gyms in the service? No, not even slightly. I have seen some gyms that have gone above and beyond or put incredible procedures in place. I've seen other facilities where they have given it lip service and nothing more than lip service. I'm aware of a gym near here where there was an outbreak of COVID. There were 5 cases minimum, and it's not that far from our front door. But as far as I'm aware, I'm not going to name them because I don't know all the details. But as far as I can see and what I've been told, they more or less just opened again. They were told gyms can open, they opened the doors and in they went. Signs went up saying, please keep 2 meters apart, there's some hand sanitizer there, and that was the end of it. And now people are in mixing, and at least 5 people ended up infected. That would be impossible in here. People are so far apart that there is no way that someone over there could contaminate someone next door, which is really where, sort of like the third person from them is likely to be. We've been doing stuff outside under canopies and that kind of thing. Other places have not. I've seen big gyms where the facility is essentially, we've put some tape on the floor. Please train within that box on the floor. But you still have to go and get your equipment and you have to take it over there. Who's responsible for cleaning it afterwards? The member is. Are they going to do a good job of it? I don't know. But there's 50, 60 people in the building at any given time. How do you get your equipment from the rack to your box? You've still got to pass people on the way. Who's making sure all the machines that are maybe every second one's being shut off is being wiped down? I don't know. So my point with it is that the government is responsible for legislation. So if they put down the legislation saying that your business must comply with these things, then it is up to them to police it. Now, again, I'm going to come back to care homes in particular in another video. But with this, all they really had to do was make sure there are enough people policing each individual business. So, because they haven't followed through in giving the resources to the Health and Safety Executive, trading standards, all of these people that are there to enforce it, and the police, they haven't given the resources to be able to go out and police all of these things. They're not being policed. They're reacting. And as a result, sectors are being shut down. And I think that's a problem. I think that there is huge benefit to what we provide as an industry. Huge benefit that vastly outweighs the benefits of locking down if we do it safely. But every business is the same in that they have got something to offer. Otherwise, they wouldn't exist as a business. So as long as that business can do it safely, my belief is that they should stay open. Maybe you've got another opinion though. So Comment to me, get in touch with me, whatever. I am happy to have this debate. I'm happy to have this discussion. But I wish to have a discussion. I don't want somebody to tell me you're wrong in one sentence. Let's have a discussion. Let's be a bit more open about this and see if we can try and get a voice out there that has a bit more freedom to it, a bit more feeling of this is what we all believe, having thought about it. As a result, politicians have to listen because that's what they're there for. Politicians are there to make legislation based on what we as the public want. So if we can have a discussion and be more open about it, maybe they will listen more. My feeling is that they become very close to this whole thing. They become very, very blinded almost by the situation. I think in the beginning it was being handled quite well, and that level of handling has got worse over time as they've kind of been absorbed by the situation. There's a saying of you can't read the label from inside the jar, and I think that is very, very pertinent here. They have been in that jar for so long, and they're so used to just now being able to lock down and deal with things that way, and they just want to look at numbers in a spreadsheet, that they've forgotten to look to the bigger picture. But if we can all start to do that as a nation, as a species, then maybe we can have these discussions in such a way that maybe we'll find something that gets us through this in a more beneficial way. Yes, there are vaccines on the way. Are they going to work? We don't know. We don't know yet. We think they might, but then the word mutation has come up recently, and that's something I want to talk about in a future video. So for now, something to think about, I hope, and I would love for anyone to come back and discuss this with. I'm happy to have my mind changed. I've had it changed several times right along this journey, but I've had it changed by fact, not by someone shouting and not by someone's opinion, by facts. So if you have some facts that I'm missing, please come and tell me what they are. I'd love to review them. If you have an educated opinion, maybe you're in a field that is an expert within this, maybe you're an epidemiologist, I'd love to talk to you. But I have more to say on these things in future videos, and I look forward to speaking to you in one of them. Until next time, stay safe, have a great day, bye for now.